Hello, it's Mary Bush with Stampin' in the Sand. Thank you for tuning in today. Today I'm bringing you a super cute card that I have just created featuring the Dandy Garden Suite from the January to June mini catalog from Stampin' Up. Say that 10 times fast. You'll find it starting on page 24 of this seasonal catalog. If you don't have a copy of our seasonal catalog or of our annual catalog and aren't already in a relationship with another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be happy to send one to you. I have a link for requesting a catalog on my blog, and I'll share it here in the video description below as well. Make it easy for you. But this catalog actually is going away soon. It expires June 30th. So we only have a little over a month left to shop from the amazing products within its pages. Some of the items are carrying over and have carried over to our new annual catalog, but many of them we are actually bidding adieu as they go into stamp retirement. However, most of the products in the Dandy Garden Suite are carrying over. So if you turn to page 25 or look at my page here, you will see that the Garden Wishes stamp set and die bundle featured here, and the Dragonfly Garden bundle stamp set and punch featured here are carrying over. They are in our new annual catalog. However, all the accoutrements are retiring. So we will be saying goodbye to the coordinating Dandy Garden Designer Series paper, our beautiful little ladybug trinkets, the Memories and More cards and envelopes and card pack, and believe it or not, we are actually bidding goodbye and farewell to our Mossy Meadow braided linen trim. I thought for sure that was carrying over, and it's not. So we are going to be using some of these elements in today's project, and many of them are featured in my class to go. It's called Chasing Dragonflies Creative Escape. You'll find that advertised and promoted here on my YouTube channel, as well as on my blog and on my Facebook page. If you'd like some more information, you can shoot me an email or a private message and ask away. I'm here to help. Happy to help you. The registration does close on June 1st, like just before midnight on June 1st, so I can get those orders in for everybody's supplies on the 2nd. And I'll show you a little sneak peek on some of those cards at the end of today's class. So for today's class, we're actually going to be using the Garden Wishes bundle. So if you have a catalog, you can see that featured on page 26. It has this stamp set here with the coordinating dragonfly, coordinating dandelions, and there's a little bee and a whole bunch of mixed font greetings. There's also a coordinating die set. It's really fun. And I know some people have been saying, oh, I do not do dandelions. I don't like dandelions. And you know what? To be honest, when I first saw this back in, I don't know, December, when we could pre-order from the catalog, I wasn't a fan either. But you know what? I bought it anyway. And you know what? I'm really glad I did. And I'm thrilled it's carrying over because it's actually a really fun bundle. So we're going to be using that in today's class, and I hope you enjoyed the projects. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to start with the Designer Series paper. So we have our pack of paper here, and buried in the back, it's the Dandy Garden 6x6 Designer Series paper. It's a pack of 48 6x6 sheets, and the coordinating colors are Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, and Whisper White, which is now our basic white. And why is that important? Well, what that tells you is that if you use the inks and the cardstocks that are mentioned on the back of the pack, those are the colors that were used to create the Designer Series paper and all of the graphics on the paper. So if you choose and pull those cardstocks and those ink colors, you are guaranteed that your project is going to be beautiful because everything's going to coordinate absolutely perfectly. So we're going to start with a card base of Bumblebee. It's cut 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score it at 2 1/8 of an inch on each side to make a gatefold card. And then we're going to have 2 coordinating pieces of designer series paper that are 2 inches by 5 1/4 of an inch. Now, I have pre-cut this large dandelion pattern from that designer series paper, which by itself you probably, I think it goes this way, which by itself you would not probably use on a card front, being as it's so bold and so detailed. However, if you take it and you make it smaller, it actually becomes a really attractive piece that's going to add a lot of detail to your card. So what I have done, because I'm making a gatefold and the 2 ends are going to meet in the middle, I took a piece that was 4 inches by 5 1/4 and I cut it in half to make the 2 pieces so that when my card closes in the middle, the patterns will line up. And I'm just going to take 1 second and shake the camera just a little bit because I realized I did not plug in my power source. So that wasn't too bad. I didn't jostle you too bad. I just don't need this, I don't need the battery to die right in the middle because I probably won't know and I'll keep going. Okay, so we have our 2 pieces, 2 inches by 5 1/4 each. So now we have to do our scoring. Now you can do that with a score tool, or you can do it with your trimmer if your trimmer is set up to score. I happen to have my scoreboard more handy than I do my trimmer, so I'm just going to bring that out. And I said we're going to score that at 2 1/8 inch on each side. So we're going to go to 2, make sure I get the right end. That's 2 1/4, 2 1/8. We're going to rotate it and we're going to go 2 1/8. I have to remember that the grid marks on my scoreboard are not exactly the same as on my trimmer. All right, so I can put that away. Make a bunch of noise doing so, sorry about that. And then to form my gatefold, I will just take it in and crease it. I'll fold this one up, make sure it matches up to the middle, and score again. So now I have my card base and I can attach my designer series paper. So this one is going to go on this side. This piece is going to go on this side. I'm going to be using Seal Plus because that's what I have. My Stampin' Seal ran out. And I would use, usually I like to use liquid glue, but for the ease of the video, it'll be faster if I just use my Stampin' Seal Plus. So if you're new to Stampin' Up, we have quite a few different adhesives. Stampin' Seal Plus is our heavy-duty adhesive. So that's what you would usually use as your go-to for 3D projects like boxes and bags, things that need a really hefty adhesion, so to speak. And then we have Stampin' Seal, which is equal to our old snail adhesive. And then we have a liquid glue as well. All right, so now I have my card front, and you can see how when it's closed, you're gonna want those 2 patterns to line up. So we can put that aside for a second. It's time to do some stamping. Next, I have a insert for the inside of my card. I've actually started cutting the largest stitched rectangle for my card inserts. I think it just adds a little extra element for the inside of the card than just a plain old piece cut with a trimmer. Then I have another piece of basic white. And for this one, I used the second largest scalloped rectangle from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. So that's this one right here, the second largest. So I've cut one of those out of basic white. I have a basic white envelope, and we're going to do stamping on our envelope because we never mail a naked envelope. Envelopes must be beautifully dressed before they leave the house. And then I have a strip of basic white. It's just a scrap. And then I have another piece of basic white that's just a bit of a larger scrap. It's 3 inches wide, and the length doesn't necessarily matter as long as it fits our stamped image. So for our stamping, we are going to start with the Garden Wishes stamp set. So here's our stamp set, as I showed you in the catalog. We have a large cluster of dandelions. We have a single dandelion. We have a little filler if we want to fill in our dandelion. We have our little bouncing bee and his little bouncing tracks. We have some dandelions blowing in the wind. And then we have some sentiments for the inside or the outside of our card. So we have hello from all of us, wishing you all the best. Made with love for a true friend, your acts of kindness are like a breath of fresh air. So that's our stamp set, and it does come with the coordinating dies. So you have a lot of graphic type of dandelion images, our leaves, some grasses. This outline cuts out this blowing dandelion here. This large cluster die is for this right here. And what I love is they gave us 2 bees. So we have 2 little bees dies to cut out either a stamped die, or what makes this even more phenomenal is that part of the pack of designer series paper is a whole entire page of bees. And they coordinate with the dies. So we're gonna do some of that as well. So for starters, we're gonna stamp. We're gonna use the large cluster of dandelions. And we are going to be using Mossy Meadow ink. We're going to be using Bumblebee ink. Then I have a Mossy Meadow Stampin' Write marker, a Bumblebee Stampin' Write marker, and then for just a little extra coloring, I have a light Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend. Now our Stampin' Blends come in a light and a dark combined for only $9, so that's $4.50 for each marker. They do come together though, so you can't buy them separately. They come as a match set, but for today we're only gonna be using the light. So to start out, I am going to ink up my stamp in Mossy Meadow, but I'm going to try to avoid the flower portion of the stamp. If I have a little extra ink and stuff around the edges, I always carry or have at my fingertips Q-tips in my craft room so that I can do a little bit of cleaning if I need to. Then I'm gonna come in with my Bumblebee Stampin' Write marker, and I'm going to use it to color directly on my rubber. So I'm gonna color in my flowers with my marker. So that's these 3. Then I can fill in where I didn't touch the ink pad to the stamp with the Mossy Meadow marker, and just get a little bit up closer, and then I can always just fill in a little bit down here just to make sure it coordinates and matches well. And then because we've had a little bit of a time delay from the time that we inked up our image with the ink pad and the time that we drew on it with the marker, we're going to want to huff on it and use the moisture in our breath to reactivate the ink. All right, so I've blown my hot air on it, and now I can use it to stamp. So the first thing I think I'll do is I will stamp on my large piece of scrap. We are going to die cut this out. So I'm going to stamp that there. And then I can move on to the other pieces. So that's not too bad. We'll set that aside to dry. And then we just repeat the process. So we're going to bring in our pad, ink it up, clean it up with the Q-tip. Ugh, doesn't have to be a great job. Doesn't have to be perfect. Come back in with my marker and color. And I can see that I went a little too high with that green. So I'm gonna take some of that off with my Q-tip. Actually, I need a new Q-tip. That one was too icky. And the reason I want to remove it is because that green is way darker than my bumblebee marker. So I don't want to get mossy meadow on my bumblebee marker, because I'll be spending a lot of time scribbling to get it to come off. All right, so now I can come back in with that mossy meadow marker and just do some touch up. I think I was a little aggressive that time. Okay, so once again, we're gonna huff. And this time we're gonna stamp it on our panel for the inside of our card, making sure we leave a little bit of room for our writing. And that came out really good. So I'm really happy with that. We're not gonna push that. Okay, then we're gonna do it one more time on our envelope. And I need a piece of scrap that's a little heavy duty. I always tuck in a piece of scrap heavyweight cardstock or light cardboard on the inside of my envelope, because we are, first of all, we're going to use blends. So you definitely want to do it if you're using your Stampin' blends. But you especially want to do it with Stampin' blends, but you also want to do it with ink, because I have had occasion where if the ink was super, super wet or the stamp was super saturated and I stamped my envelope, it bled. And the absolute worst thing is ruining a perfectly good envelope. So, I'm going to do my little dandelion heads. And I'm going to hope I'm getting good coverage. Remind me to check that. Okay. Dee. Okay. All right. So once again, we're going to huff. Moisten that ink. Take a deep breath and stamp on the envelope and hope it comes out good. Okay. Leave that to sit for a second. Moment of truth. And it came out perfect. Yay, I'm really happy. Okay, now that our ink has had a chance to dry a little bit, we're gonna do just a little bit of light coloring with our Stampin' blend. So all I'm gonna do is very lightly follow the line art that was provided to us by the stamp. And it's not going to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist, but I have to let it go. It's not gonna be perfect. And I'm going to make it almost look like I watercolored, except I'm using my blends. Now you certainly could just watercolor. I'm just choosing to use blends because I'm a little bit more comfortable coloring with the blends than I am watercolor. So I'm just following, and I'm just doing a really light touch and letting go of the fact that if I go out of the lines, the world is not going to come to an end. And it's not going to be perfect anyway because I can barely see what I'm doing. Because when I color, I have to be right on top of what I'm doing to see it. I can't see it. All right, so I'm gonna put that aside for a minute so I can finish drying. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna just quickly do the same thing on this piece. And again, I am leaving some white area. I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna do this perfect because I can't. If I wasn't trying to do this from further away than I can see, I would probably take more time. But it's all good. It is all good. Okay. So, I think that's pretty good for now. So there's that. And then we need to do the exact same thing for the inside of the card. And this is where I can feel you fast forwarding. Because watching somebody else scribble can be boring. But at least you can see that I am truly not obsessing over how I'm coloring this. And you don't have to either. And I'll probably, as soon as I can see this close up, I'm probably gonna laugh at myself, but hey, you know what? I'm using my creative license. Okay, so now we have the inside panel for our card all stamped and colored. We're gonna die cut this out with the coordinating die, and we have stamped our envelope. So we're gonna have those dry for a second. This strip here is gonna be for our sentiment, and I needed a birthday card. So I needed something that would fit my plan for the card. So I actually pulled out my Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, and I'm going to be using the Happy Birthday to My Beautiful Friend. So I've got that on my block, and I'm going to stamp that in the Mossy Meadow, and I just stuck my fingers in it. Oh my gosh, you know what? See what happens? You think you're going so good, and I don't want to get that on my card because that will make a mess. I should be wearing gloves. All right, so we're gonna ink this up in the Mossy Meadow, and we're just gonna stamp it on our paper. Look at the mess I made on my block. Good grief. You're gonna be calling me Messy Mary today. I'm putting that far away from me because I will get my fingers in it. Okay, so now we have that, and we are going to cut it out with one of our new tag dies. It's called Taylormade Tags. It's in the new annual catalog. It's a standalone die set, so meaning it's not bundled or coordinating with anything else. And let me see if I can find that for you. This is the new annual catalog. So again, if you don't have one of these and don't currently have a demonstrator, I would be happy to send you one if you contact me through my form, my request form. Taylormade Tags. It's alphabetical, Mary. Did you know that it was out, that the index is, the accessories index in the back is alphabetical? So Taylormade Tags are right here. It's $22 for 10 dies, and they are a standalone set. So they do not have a coordinating stamp set. They're not bundled. They're just as they are by themselves. So again, it's Taylormade Tags. And I'll have a complete shopping list, complete with links at the end of this, at the end of the video through the description. So it's Taylormade Tags, and these little scallopy ones, I'm using the second largest, or second to largest, second smallest, the one in the middle. So that's this one right here. So we're just gonna put this through our machine and die cut it out. Then we have, from our Dandy Wishes die set, we are going to take the cluster die, and we're going to die cut that. See how it just fits on there just perfectly. And then also from the set, we need our little bee. And from our designer series paper, we can cut out any of these little bees. So how awesome is that? You don't even have to color it. You don't have to stamp it. You can just cut it right out of the paper. So this whole entire sheet of little bees, you can cut out. And you can do 2 at a time because they gave us 2 dies. Okay, so for the speed of this video, and so you don't have to get bored, I have done all that ahead of time. So here is our happy birthday to my beautiful friend, cut out from the tag. Then we have our cut and colored dandelion cluster. So that's this guy right here for the card front. And then we have a little baby bee. So we have our little bee. The inside, for the inside panel, we don't have to do anything. So we're gonna put these aside for a second because before I forget, I also wanna do a little addition, can pull this out now, a little addition to the back of my envelope. So some of these patterns that come in the designer series paper are pretty graphic and pretty busy and pretty bold. And for some, I've heard that they've been pretty challenged by how to use those on a card. And again, if you cut it down into smaller pieces, it becomes a lot more manageable, a lot more easier, and a lot more visually attractive. But it also looks gorgeous on an envelope. So I'm just gonna take some of my Seal Plus and I'm gonna run it along the bottom of my envelope. Oops, I lost my end. I lost the end, it got sucked back inside. All right, so just put a little bit. And I do not use, and I do not recommend using liquid glue on the envelopes because they're a little thinner than cardstock and it gets all ripply underneath. And I want to preserve this corner as much as I can. So I'm going to start with that corner and lay it down, and then I can come along with my snips, which I guess I haven't put away. I can take out my snips and just follow along with my blind little eyes. along the envelope flap. And there's a little, I think I went a little bit too far in over there. Just take some of the curse off of that. This is not going to be perfect because I can't see it. I know. I've been talking about needing bifocals for, what, 2 years doing videos? But they talked me out of it because I get vertigo and they said it would probably make me dizzy. Okay, so look at that. Look at how pretty that is. Now, when you see it as a whole entire sheet of paper, it's like, whoa, what am I going to do with that? But look at how pretty it is on the back of an envelope. And look at how pretty it is with our little stamped dandelion on the front. Isn't that just the cutest thing? I think that really dressed up that envelope nicely. All right, so let's finish putting our card together. So we have our inside panel. And if I can find the end of my adhesive, get the inside panel, and that's just gonna go on the inside. Plenty of room to make our message. See if I can get it slightly centered. Okay, and then that's gonna close. And we're going to take our Whisper White scalloped rectangle, and I'm gonna add dimensionals to only one side of it. And we haven't stamped on it, so it doesn't really matter which side. Ooh, that one wasn't even stuck. You know why? Because both sides of the backing came off with it. Surprise! Okay. So, let's just keep picking. Pick, pick, pick. All right, so now we're gonna center this in the middle, but I think I'll go down a little bit from the middle, so a little bit of that dandelion sticks up. Make sure the back, we're not gonna seal it shut with the dimensional. That looks a little crooked. It is. It's like ever so slightly crooked that only Mary would notice. All right, that looks better. Then we're gonna take this dandelion that we cut out, and we are going to put dimensionals on the back. There's a lot of dimensionals on this card, but it is all good. And then I need some little bitties. So, the big ones don't always fit. I'm gonna do that. I don't want it to fall over, so I'm gonna give it one more. One more. Okay, then we can pick all these off. Oh my gosh, this one's on like concrete. All right. I know, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Nobody wants to watch you pick. Quick, quick like a bunny. Quick like a bunny. Okay, that's done. So then we're gonna lay that down on the middle, just like that. Make sure there's no dimensionals showing. And then we're gonna take our little tag, and I've got the retiring Mossy Meadow braided linen trim, and I just need a little bit of the trim. And I'm going to pass it through the hole, except that it wants to split on me. So we're gonna pass it through, make our little tag, and then I'm just gonna put a couple of dimensionals on the middle. pull the back end off. And attach it to the front of my card. We're going to go at a little bit of an angle. Whatever looks good. Make sure he's all sticky happy. And then I'm gonna trim that just a little bit more. So there you go. So we have our card. Isn't that the cutest little thing ever? Isn't that just so stinking cute? And then look how it looks with our envelope. Okay, so what else do I need to tell you? I'll have the links for all the supplies posted in the description of this video down below. I have an ordering special for the month of May. If you use this host code when you place your order in my online store, you are going to get a free tutorial featuring our new Color and Contours bundle from the new annual catalog. And this PDF tutorial has step-by-step directions for creating each of the cards in full color. And these are the cards you're going to create. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. This is another style of gate card. And this is another type of fancy fold card. So you have 2 fancy folds and 2 standard cards. And that comes in the step-by-step full color PDF tutorial. Again, that's free with a $35 or more order in my online store using this host code for May. Again, I'll post that in the description below on this video. And if you enjoyed this project, you may be interested in signing up for my Chasing Dragons Creative Escape. This is a full class to go with a PDF only option available as well. So for my fellow demonstrators, if you have all the product and you don't need any more product coming in your door, and you're only interested in the PDF, there is a PDF only option available for my demonstrator friends. And for everyone else, there's a full class to go. And of course, my demonstrator friends, you're more than welcome to sign up for the full class as well if you don't have all the product or you want to see how I put my classes together. This class features the Dragonfly Garden stamp set and the coordinating Dragonflies punch, which are also part of the suite that we use today. What else? It makes 4 cards. So you're going to get a fancy fold and 3 other styles of card. You're going to receive all of the pre-cut, pre-die cut materials for creating 2 each of these 4 cards. So all of the cardstock layers, all of the die cut layers, the little ladybug trinket, a whole bolt of this twine that we use today that's retiring, a full pack of the designer series paper that we used on today's card is also featured in the class, and a full color step-by-step tutorial for how to create all 4 of the projects so that you can use them in recreating the projects later on with your own materials. And what else? What else? All of that information can be found following the link below for the Chasing Dragons Creative Escape. And I'll tell you, I have used, this is the pack of paper. You're going to get a full pack of this paper in the Creative Escape. I created my class cards, created some extra samples, created today's card 3 times, once in design, once with you, and once to have the backup pieces for die cutting. And I still have a ton of paper left over. So this is a very full class to go. You're going to receive tons of product that you're going to be able to use in additional projects, not just the class itself. And what else? I guess that's kind of it, unless you're super excited and you want to do a lot of stamping and you want the Dragonfly Garden bundle and you also want the bundle that we used today. Where'd it go? It was here a second ago. Here we go. And you also want the Garden Wishes stamp set and the dies, and maybe you want the Friends Are Like Seashells too, and your wish list is growing and growing and growing and growing and it's out of control. The best deal out there right now is to join my join my Sand Stampers team, and you can choose $155 in the products of your choice. You'll only pay $99 plus your state and local taxes. The shipping is free. Plus you get a whole business supply pack and a case of catalogs in case you want to invite your friends and family to stamp with you and try to, you know, earn some more product for free through people ordering from you. But if you're not interested in having people place orders, you're not interested in inviting your friends and family to stamp with you, you're not interested in doing YouTube videos or having a Facebook page, dropping dies on the floor like just happened here, etc., you can join just for the discount. The day that you join, you will automatically qualify for a 20% discount on all your future orders. And we have a new catalog coming out in August, and we can pre-order from it in July. So you can participate in that too. So it's an awesome opportunity right now because through the month of May only, they've added an additional $30 worth of product to the starter kit, and it's all stuff you get to pick. So they're not going to tell you what you put in your starter kit. It used to be that, you know, way back, I think when I joined, the starter kit was you're getting this, 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 and this, and paying this, and that was it. You couldn't make any changes. Well, now you get to pick your starter kit. You build the whole thing from the bottom up. So no matter anything you want for that, until it hits $155, just keep putting it in there, putting it in there, putting it in there. When you hit $155, boom, you pay $99 and it ships for free, which is worth another $15.50. So if you're interested in joining, I would love to have you as a part of my Sand Stampers team. We would love to welcome you. And that special runs through the end of May only. So now's the time. Now's the time to grab the deal. All right. I hope you have enjoyed today's project. I just realized we forgot to put the bee on. As I was talking, my little bee went flying off of the little join thing. So we have to put our little bee on. Don't go away. Don't go away, because somehow I forgot to put on this little guy, and he really adds a lot. Because he's buzzing in to say happy birthday. I can't believe I almost forgot to put on my little bee. All right, so I'm going to put my Stampin' Dimensional under his wings, but not that close, so that he can overlap the flower just a little tiny bit. I got so excited about everything else. We forgot to put our bee on. So look isn't he cute? Doesn't he just finish it off so nice? So there's our 2 cards. And if you want to step it up and even another notch, you can take Wink Estella, and this one doesn't want to work, and you can add Wink Estella to his wings and make his wings glitter. So we may as well do that, right? Let's make his little wing, as long as we're hanging out here. So there you go. Look at that. Is that not the cutest stinking thing you've ever seen in your life? Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I don't know about you, but I am in love. All right, thanks for stopping by. I really hope you enjoyed the projects. And if you have any questions regarding my special offers for May, or the join offer with the extra $30 in product and through the month of May, or on today's project, which I might have already said, or on my Chasing Dragons Creative Escape please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask your questions. All right, happy stamping, everybody. Thanks for bearing with me, and I will stamp with you later.